Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. It's Friday today, and it's time to celebrate your moments of joy. I'm Christine Bernat, stress management coach, and much more. As you get to know me and discover who I am a love, heart centered person, and it's so important for me to hold a space where you feel there is love and support. So, hopefully, this is happening for you. I just need to mute my device. There we go. And today, let's take a little bit of time to think about all week. We talked about joy, bringing joy in. So, were you able to add some joy into your lifestyle this week? Those little mini moments that count, where we just take a breath and we observe and we notice and we pay attention to. It could be walking in the home and seeing your child playing focused. How did that feel? Did you take that moment to just breathe and be there with your child so that, it's the more we create moments of joy and acknowledge them, accept them, notice them, the more our brain will be looking for them. We hear people say, oh, such a terrible day, he's had such a terrible week. The whole week was terrible from A to Z. Okay, I will say I was there at some point, so I totally get it. However, I hope you're not hearing my washing machine in the back. It's making a lot of noise. So, anyway, I was there where I was unhappy. I was uncontent with my life, discontented with my life, totally. And I started making choices that aligned with my heart. That took me time and it has paid off. So, where are you saying no to yourself that you wish you were saying yes to you? Have you put on your oxygen mask this week? Did you self regulate? Maybe you didn't take the time to do that. So, let's do the snap, tap, and zap. Just letting it go. One more time, just to ground ourselves into more inner peace, inner wisdom. Deep breath in. What's the issue that you're feeling or the stress? Where are you feeling that in your body? And zap that out. If there are lots of thoughts, remember around the ears, not a huge C, but a small C shape around the ears, tapping, breathing that in, noticing where your body is complaining or stressed out, and exhale that out onto the hot air balloon. Just letting that go. And another deep breath. Relax the shoulders and exhale. How does that feel? More grounding? Awesome. Great job. So, we've talked about grief all week with our special guest who came in, Tony Lynch, to share his journey. And what a journey! Molestation, being shot at, and addiction, and the power of choice, right? I believe we ended with the power of choice. And that we always have a choice, even when, Okay, so let me just clarify what I'm trying to say here. Sometimes we'll say, well, I had no choice. I just went with everyone. But you did have a choice. You chose to go with them. Kids, our children have a lot of peer pressure, social media pressure. And if they're saying, I had no choice, I had to go, maybe a great question to ask is, what made you feel that you didn't have a choice? Right? What made you feel that you didn't have a choice? Were you afraid they would laugh at you? Were you afraid they'd stop being your friend? Were you afraid? What was the fear behind that? Your child may say, I don't know, leave me alone. And that's okay. What's important is you planted that little seed. And if you're seeing your child do this, take a peek at yourself. Are you doing this in any way, shape, or form in your life? Are there times in your life where you would like to have that power of choice, be aware of it, and aren't quite aware of it? So, this is an awesome thing to do this weekend. Have a little bit of fun. Notice I'm planting a little seed for you. Where is it that I am just going with the flow and not choosing for myself? I'm going with what's expected of me and not choosing for myself. So when we do that, there's a part of us that is grieving. Just a sec, what does that mean? A part of us that is grieving, it's because there's the part of us that's our inner wisdom, our strength, our powerful self that wants us to say, hey, no, I'm not going to go with you guys. I want to do this. I still remember telling students one day a story about the two kids are going, a group of kids are going together to the corner store, the convenience store, I think you say in some countries. Anyway, a small store where they sell lots of chips and gum and soft drinks. So they're in there, and then they're like, oh, you take it, put it in your coat pocket, nobody will know. And then you say no, and they say chicken, and you do it because you don't want to be called a chicken. But as you're walking out, you're the one that gets in trouble, isn't it? If you get caught, it's not the other ones. So who was the real chicken? The one that called you chicken, or you because you were afraid to be called a chicken? In my perspective, that's a way of bullying. You were bullied into taking an action that you didn't want to do because you knew right from wrong. And you didn't want to steal anything. But because they called you a chicken, you did. Can you see that? Can you see how it's so easy sometimes for children who want to feel like they're part of the group, part of the gang? As they grow up, they learn. And the important thing is, if they come home with stories about this, is for us to hold that, lovingly hold the space. Listen from A to Z. Where in that story did they make a choice that it aligns with the values they have, or aligns with your values, that you can say, I'm proud of you because you've decided you'd never do this again? Or if there is nothing, you can say, ask, how did that make you feel? How did you feel when that other teen asked you or said to you, chicken? How did it make you feel when you got caught? How did it make you feel when in different aspects of the story? It may be a good time to bring them to the restaurant for an ice cream or a slushy drink, whatever it is, just so that they know they're in a safe space. They know you're not going to start screaming off the top of your head in front of everybody. And please, I highly encourage you to self regulate so that you're really calm and in a loving space so that you're not triggered. And when we tell stories from our past, I believe it's important to evaluate that story. Is it a story to help them understand that it's okay not to be perfect? I did it too. Well, then that's a great story. Is it a story to say, hey, I was better, I never got caught? What are you encouraging in that case? Sometimes we don't even think of it. We're just, oh yeah, this reminds me of when I was a kid and we would do this and we never caught and we were really cool. Well, that's great and awesome. But what is it that you want to teach your child? And just go back to that. You know, our progress is more important than the perfection of doing things. If you mess things up, no worry. You drop the ball, and it's okay to say, I dropped the ball. Let me come back. No, this is not what I wanted. This story doesn't make sense. I've done that many times. My kids kind of laugh at me, Mom. Yeah, it's okay. Mom is perfectly imperfect. I'm doing my best and learning to take the steps that bring more joy to my life and that add more value to my life, right? We're all on a journey. We all have a purpose in this life. Some of us is to be these amazing parents. Some of us is to leave a legacy of love. Whatever your journey, or is to be the most brilliant businessman, and that's okay. Of course, you're allowed to be a brilliant businessman. Doesn't mean that you can't have those short, mini moments when you come in and you are 100% present with your child. What will the child remember? Let's say we have a 5-year-old. They spent the day with mom or dad. Some dads stay home. Congratulations to you, dads. And with the parent, I'll say with the parent that stays home. And then you are had the whole day together. You've done lots of stuff. You've done some crafts. You've, prepared meals, etc. And the working parent walks in. How do you walk in if you're the working parent? Do you walk in with your smile on or your grumpy face, your exhausted face? Yes, you're exhausted. I'm certain. But the parent that stayed home is also exhausted. Let's keep that in mind. So we've got 2 exhausted parents and we've got exhausted children at the end of the day. So when we come in, maybe you need to have a moment where you just sit down, quiet space in a part of the house and say, I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Go collect yourself, meditate for 2 minutes. I don't know, run, jump, do push-ups, whatever it is that you need to do. Come back with your smile on. I highly recommend this and have a 5-minute of powerful time, joyful time with your child. From my experience, those 5 minutes will be more important than the whole day spent with the other parent. I'm not putting down the other parent. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that quality time may be the best part of the day for that child. Because during the day, the parent that stays home has the laundry to do, the cooking, the cleaning up, and the list goes on, driving here, driving there, doing the groceries. It's a lot. And my heart goes out to you. But as a parent, if you're doing groceries, How do you make the trip to the grocery store fun and exciting and add joy to that? Here's another thought, right? How can we add a little bit of joy? Here is like looking for ways to plant seeds of joy throughout your day. So on that note, what are your efforts making a difference? You may notice them, or your partner may notice them, or maybe you're both noticing them. Keep going. And if you're not really noticing it, it's because you just need more practice. So keep practicing. You know, perseverance is key. Perseverance is key. And your attitude is your altitude. I had that in the class one year, written in big letters right across the front of the class. And within a few months, the kids would say, "Yes, we know our attitude is our altitude." What kind of attitude are you showing up with? And when you're alone, what kind of attitude are you showing yourself? Are you showing up for yourself with the best attitude? Doesn't mean that you're not allowed to be sad and acknowledge all those different emotions. Do take the time to do that. And it's the and both. Acknowledge those negative emotions that come up and that you may not like. Anyway, I don't like them. I don't like it when I'm angry because it reminds me of when my dad was angry at me. And it's okay. I can put them on the spiraling train, on the hot air balloon. I can acknowledge that memory. Maybe that memory comes up so that I can just release it. And then I can breathe in some joyful moments. I can sit and say, oh, yeah, I also had great moments with my dad where he would read Asterix and Obelix, which is a comic book from France. And he would read these, and we would love sitting on the couch with him, right? Even if it was only 5 minutes some nights, because that's the only time we had. But those are beautiful memories that I have from that back then. So don't discard what it is that you do and acknowledge those joyful moments and be proud of yourself for whatever it is that you tried to implement this week or want to implement today or are implementing. Be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. And what's one thing you're going to do to celebrate? Are you going to have a nice, peaceful bath? So you can, with a candle, are you going to sit and read quietly? It is possible to instill 5 minutes of reading each person in their room. Start with small amounts of time where you can all sit down, be a race, the first person to their room, and then sit down, have a book, and the alarm will go off in 5 minutes, and we can tell each other what our story was about. That can be fun, and you get to just sit quietly without anybody nagging at you, right? I was going to head off, but I've got somebody hopping on here, so I'm going to bring him up. Here comes Christian Mendez, dad of 4. What are you and your family celebrating today?
I just got back from part of an event, a school event, and of course, part of a sponsored, part of it was sponsored by us, but really just seeing the smile and joyful faces and being around my own kiddos and opportunities that to just really see smiles and kids enjoying. Now, and funny enough, not everybody's smiling and not everybody's having fun. And so these are some things that I'm and my spouse, a wonderful and amazing, glorious day that we were able to have her join us and interact and everything. So that was also great. Just cheering on and having that positive. But going back to it, some of the things that we see as kiddos, and they don't have the parent, they don't have the guardian, they don't have that support
Yeah.
system, and
Yes.
it's only I can't. And then see how it hit you,
Yeah.
same in
It
my
always
chest.
gets me to hear that there are children that just don't have that opportunity, right?
Absolutely. So here's where my thinking, and I go back to a meeting of a gentleman who is also building up men and communities. The best thing that you can do for a poor person is not be one. The best thing that I can be for a child that doesn't have the support system is be one to me, my kids, my family, and
Yes.
allow that to be shown and reflected when I am outward speaking in a event that way. Not and it's not that I'm minding myself to, no, it's that I know that I carry that love, that support, that kindness at the forefront, and I no longer allow different things or situations or whatever to take control. Because here's the thing,
Mhm.
you're saying, well, what would you wait? What do you mean losing control? I mean it in a control of a sadness, of a desperation where I'm frozen in inaction, where I'm just so distraught by understanding and knowing that somebody maybe or a kid doesn't have a support system. And again, these are triggering things. So you say, well, no, I didn't think of that. Absolutely. And we don't know what the other person is thinking. So that's
Mhm.
where, again, to other parents will see what my tone is, what my voice is, what my
Yeah.
words are, how I
Yes.
interact with my own kids. Because
Yes.
again, we only encourage others, but
Yes.
we keep it here. We process it now,
Yes.
and then we release it because I know and I knew when it just as it right now it hit and it just
Yeah.
oof,
Yeah.
I now learned to overcome.
Excellent. And the other aspect is, because I had some of these children in my classes, and it's to just show them as much love and kindness as we possibly can so that they can remember this, and somewhere in their brain as they get older and get away from these super challenging experiences, they'll remember, oh, Christine, I remember once I supply taught in this classroom and I thought, oh my God, these kids are so mean to each other. They are so mean. How can they spend the day there? And I'm during recess, I'm crying because I'm very emotional. I didn't have snap, tap, zap at the moment, but I was there one day with these students, and I'm walking in town. I don't know, a month later, and three of these students, hi, it's Christine. And I'm like, whoa. Well, because during the time I was there, I did everything in my power to have them be respectful towards one another, and explain a little bit how it hurts inside, even though, whatever I could, because when you're teaching the curriculum, you've got to follow the curriculum, right?
but
And
but I think it goes back to the principles, and that's where you were going. Continue. Yeah,
yeah,
just to,
yeah, it's just be grounded, loving, show kindness, show respect. And
to
it's not because a child is yelling and rolling their eyes that I'm going to start yelling. Like, what's the point? I've seen so many teachers yell, and it drove me bananas. Because what is the point? You want to be heard. Yes, but did you know I was able to do this at the end? This is what I would do to get the class to be silent. And by the time I got to zero, my class was quiet and they were ready to listen. No more yelling. Oh, that aligned with
you
my
you
values.
set you set standards, you set expectations, You
Yes.
respectfully and professionally, even though you weren't able to be calm in certain situations back then, you still had the professional training to be able to calm down a classroom. This is when we talk about those ladders of success. The
Mm.
ladders of success.
Yes. And in the cafeteria, the supervisors would always be yelling. And another trick I had was to close the lights. They started implementing in the
Of
cafeteria
course,
my techniques. So that's why it's so important that we be that ripple effect of love. Do it for you because it's your value, and notice around you you will see people starting to implement some of these amazing things, even if they have these comments. Oh, we know you, Christine. Yeah, right. Are you jealous? That's okay, you can be jealous all you want, but I need to be me, and to be me I need to find a way. Right in the first week, students learn that this is how we become quiet. And there's a lot of training in there. If there's any teachers listening, you can't just start and go like this and it's going to work. There's a whole bunch of training. You can book a call and we can talk about
one of the wonderful things that we're doing is implementing your SnapTabs app with our first teacher and principal, and then getting into and integrating that, which is a great opportunity. Absolutely. But I wanna reflect two things here: is the expectations and the actual actions to take. From you just mentioned is the hand up to where it's actually respected. And I will tell you, because when you said about the lunch area, and then of course it allows me to go back to, and I was thinking, oh, absolutely.
it.
And
Mhm.
it can be so chaotic and even today, it has nothing to do with the time and age.
No.
If we have an understanding, we have a group full of kids where it's one teacher versus, let's go an average of 25 kiddos. Let's just do an average if you want, 25 or 30.
Yes.
We're talking about at least 5 to 6 classrooms in the lunch hall area at any given time, whether the lunch schedules are.
Yeah.
And those people that are there, they're
Yeah.
wanting to make sure that there's nothing that gets out of bounds or anything that's like that. So the only reason I'm bringing this up, because we have to understand in the preparedness of these individuals. And again, I'm a superintendent. I just know people. But if
Mhm.
you have more people leading like Christine does, or like you that's listening and is implementing and that is acting and that can step in when you see something,
Yes.
that's where I wanted to go back to, because I've said this and I still remember my third grade teacher, not as much, although she was impactful. My fourth
Mhm.
grade teacher,
Mhm.
he was an awesome guy, but it's different. We'll
Yeah.
save that for another one. But
Yeah.
my fifth grade teacher was the one that really stands out, that really had made that shift in the way that she dealt with me
Mm.
prior to everybody else. It was a disciplinary action. She came in with a supportive, a listening,
Yes.
a understanding.
Yes.
So I encourage you, listener, of course, Christine, and anybody else, and encourage myself, because we started talking about what we're celebrating.
Yes.
Celebrating the wins that you have. If you've just bumped into this and you're starting SnapTabs app, congratulations.
Yes.
If you've lost your biscuits and you're going, I got to find something, congratulations.
Well,
If
yes, because you're aware of it, right?
Yes, yes, because it's so mind numbing
Mhm.
how we live nowadays. I say that and I slow down and let it come.
Yeah.
Everything around you can almost numb your mind to
Mm.
even interactions that can be small. You say small wins, I say huge wins. You say, I just did this step, I say that's vastful.
Yes. Yes. Keep going. Yeah.
So I want to end this with something that every hospital, every caregiver, Everyone that will tell you what really helps heal is not the balloons. It's not the flowers. It's not the cards. Okay, it's that positivity. It's that enthusiasm. It's that energy. It's the love. And if you don't believe me, you've cut yourself at one point, and your skin healed itself and healed over, because that is who you are. So if we understand that, we celebrate you, we celebrate your big wins, we celebrate your little wins, we celebrate you,
Yes.
because that is what is to be celebrated today.
And sending you lots of love. Hopefully, take some self care and do something that makes you vibrate with joy. See you. See you when? See you Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern for the ripple effect of love for dads and families. And if you know anyone who would love to join this movement of ripple effect of love, send them a link. I'll be excited to have them join us. Comment, and it's okay. I go back and read the comments. So please click the QR code. Enjoy your